Welcome back into segment 2 of Doc Talk this week. Tuba Samurai with you. Glad you're tuned in with me and taking a look in right now at Goal Line Blitz news. I'm happy to report that Sharpie has joined the Doc Talk staff for this week, and hopefully we can get something going in weeks going forth. He submitted a Goal Line Blitz news report and discussing this week's scheduling of his next Goal Line Blitz Unplugged radio show and other important things that you should know. Goal Line Blitz Unplugged Radio hosting its next show in the next week or so. Right now, the most logical date coming up is January 13th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, but that's subject to change. And they love having callers call in to vent, discuss, and win some flex points. So be sure to tune in to Goal Line Blitz Unplugged Radio with Sharpie. And remember, day 24, today, January 3rd, is the next set of endorsement handouts as well as the trading deadline. So please keep in mind that until your team is knocked out of the playoffs and nightly rollover begins, this will be your last chance to get any last-minute additions. The Goal Line Blitz Unplugged Sharp Talk Cap 22 Classic, it's down to its final few teams. As of January 1st, the Brewers, Warriors, Naptown, Polar Bears, and Pale Kids are still alive. Next season, Sharpie will be running an uncapped tournament ranging teams from the uncapped leagues all the way up to AAA. Up and coming in the world of Goal Line Blitz is two-point conversions, GM tracking tools, as well as more scouting tools. So on behalf of Goal Line Blitz's Sharp Talk staff, Sharpie says thank you for tuning in and hopes you have a safe and wonderful new year. And thanks a whole lot, Sharpie, for sending that Goal Line Blitz news report in for me. Also, in other news, there's a suggestion in the suggestion form from moderator Stoby, and this suggestion is for a 50-50 split for league championship revenue, which I think would be a great thing. His suggestion is that you make one Superdome stadium, have both teams have access to selling a full stadium out, and they both have their own concessions, which I think, both teams did the work to get to the championship. So let's pay both teams. I'm in agreement with that, and hopefully we'll see this suggestion get molded and shaped, and maybe we'll see that happen down the road. Right now, time to take a look in at the World League. We're following the Ministry of Dot Ball this season, and a good week for the Ministry. Game 10, the Ministry of Dot Ball faced a then undefeated Lincoln Navigators team at home at the MOD Pit. In what was mostly a defensive battle, the Ministry of Dot Ball defense kept the Navigators out of the end zone, winning the game 28-6. The first quarter saw each team make a long drive only to come up empty-handed. The Navigators drove again towards the end of the first, but the Dot Ball defense came up with two huge red zone sacks with less than a minute to go in the first. The Navigators opened the second quarter with a 51.5-yard Rochambeau field goal. Those would be the only first half points scored by either team as each team's drive sputtered. The Ministry of Dot Ball defense had a brilliant goal line stand with 3:34 to go in the half as the Navigators got the ball down to the Ministry of Dot Ball 6.5 with first and goal to go. The Ministry of Dot Ball kept the Navigators out of the end zone on 4 straight plays, stopping them on 4th and goal at the 1-yard line. At the half, the Navigators led 3-0. The second half started like the first, with each team struggling in their drives, but Ministry of Dot Ball finally got things working for them when strong safety 40th roster spot forced a fumble on 3rd and 8 that was recovered by cornerback King Louie at the Ministry of Dot Ball 7.5-yard line. The Ministry of Dot Ball turned the turnover into points with a quarterback Tom Tack pass to D-League tight end up the right side for a 91-yard touchdown, with the tight end breaking an arm tackle and streaking down the field. It was all Ministry of Dot Ball after that as they scored 3 more times in the second half and allowed only 1 more field goal by the Navigators. The final score in that game was 28-6. In Game 11, Ministry of Dot Ball was on the road taking on the Dakar Dragons. The Dragons got the ball on the opening kickoff. They struggled in the first drive of the game after converting 2 straight third downs. On first with 12:54 to go in the first, defensive end Bulls on Parade sacked Dragons quarterback Tate Forcier for a 5-yard loss. A false start penalty on the next play forced the Dragons into 2nd and 20. 2 incompletions led to a Rolf Hinkie punt, and MOD's offense started on their own 20. Ministry of Dot Ball ate up a good bit of the quarter, driving down the field, converting 2 third downs, and scoring on a Max Shinovar pass to iJuke Midgets for an 8.5-yard touchdown, with the wide receiver spinning out of the way of two Dragons defenders. After that, the two teams went back and forth without a score. In the second quarter, MOD had to punt the ball away. On the next play, free safety R. Jones came up with a pick six as he snagged a force-year pass intended for wide receiver Clinton Justice and returned the ball 66 yards for the score. MOD scored 2 field goals in the first half and another touchdown on a D-League tight end reception from quarterback Tom Tack. MOD got the ball to start the second half, but the drive ended in a Dragons interception. The Dragons used the drive following the turnover to score their only touchdown of the game. The MOD defense and offense took over for the rest of the game as the Ministry of Dotball won 55-10. Game 12, MOD played the Sparta Battle Chickens at home. It was a fairly low-scoring affair. The Ministry of Dotball shut the Chickens down on their opening drive. Also, defensive end Bulls on Parade getting 2 sacks during the 9-play drive. MOD scored the first points of the game on a Nigel Gruff field goal with 6:44 to go in the first quarter. The Chickens then went 3 and out. The next MOD drive was a long one that extended into the second quarter and ending in a man-o-man rush on 2nd and goal from the 1.5. With 4:41 to go in the half, the Chickens scored again on a 26.5-yard field goal. At the half, it was 10-3, Ministry of Dotball. Ministry of Dotball got the ball to open the second half and had a great drive. They converted 2 third downs, 1 third and long, and pulled away from SBC with a D-League halfback rush on 2nd and goal for a 2.5-yard touchdown. SBC answered with a 12-play drive and a field goal on their next 2 drives. But it wasn't enough as MOD capped the game off with a 24.5-yard field goal with 1:46 left in the game to win 20-9. This week, the Ministry of Dotball are going to be taking on the Mayan Prophecy, Cincinnati Shockers, and Marblehead Longhorns. They'll close out their regular season against Bonn Dynamo. And that's what's going on with the Ministry of Dotball. You're listening in to Dot Talk. This is Tuba Samurai with you. And right now, it's time for our Dot Talk replays of the week. Our first replay this week comes from the Fight Club Mayhem. They were playing a game against the Boston Bro Code, both 10-0 teams in the 46 casual cap, and this interception for the Fight Club ended up giving them the win over the Boston Bro Code 24-23. Now in this replay, you've got Boston quarterback Lucky 13 dropping back to pass to wide receiver Ash Catch. It was intercepted for an 88-yard touchdown return. In our next replay, we've got the Highland Immortals taking on the South Yorkshire Stars, and a 43-yard field goal attempted by Ice Veins. Now, in this game, there were 10 or so seconds left in the game. They were down by a point, and this is the game-winning kick by kicker Ice Veins, who gives it to the Highland Immortals in minor 26. Replay number 3, we've got the Steel City Mafia taking on the Dubtown Killer Penguins. And in this one, we've got a Willie P. rush, a forced fumble by Lester Knox, fumbled and recovered by Maniac Mitchell for a 35-yard return touchdown that's sent in by the Dubtown Killer Penguins in minor 34. Our next replay, we head to the World League with Valhalla taking on the Kansas City Rams. In this replay, we've got Sufjan Stevens rushing. We've got several missed tackles in this one, and that's a 39.5-yard touchdown with a ton of broken tackles that coming from the World League. And our Dot Talk replay of the week, and another one coming from the Cobra Kai from a scrimmage they had with the Samoa Flying Foxes in Oceania Pro League. T. Baggins rush, he takes it 10.5 yards, but the big thing about this replay, look at that, 4 spins in this replay, and that is your Dot Talk replay of the week. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. That's going to do it this week for Dot Talk. This is Tuba Samurai. Tune in again next week.